Hi all, Mark here taking you through another knowledge sharing installment as part of the value add ADDX provides its clients. In this session we'll be looking at Windows Designer, which is effectively a form editing tool that allows you to customize common Greentree forms to suit your business. This is really aimed at those of you who administer your Greentree system, with the outcome being a general understanding of the versatility of the tool. So let's start. Alright, so for demonstration purposes, we'll use a bog standard HR employee maintenance form. In particular, we'll go to here to the other tab. Okay, this tab normally deals with next of kin information. We'll bring up a record. Alright, so we've got Mark Allen, who's next of kin. So for whatever reason, the company has decided that we no longer need the after hours phone field. And they also said that they want the number of children UDF, located here under the custom tab, to be brought over to here in place. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So the first thing you need to do is go to System, Customization, Designer. Just as a bit of background, Windows Designer was released, oh gosh, going back a couple of years now. It used to actually be a paid for module in its previous version, but then I guess they saw the light of day, and now it's just comes bog standard with your Greentree system. So the first thing is locating the actual form that you want to create a copy of, in other words, to customize. So we know that it's HR employee maintenance, so we'll go HR employee. Right, that brief search brings up all the relevant hits for employee maintenance, and I know for a fact that it's this one here that we want to customize. It's quite simply come across here and give it a customized name, so I'll just call it employee maintenance tenants V1, actually no, V2. Put in a description if you feel the need, and hit save. So what it's then presenting is, this is the original form, and here is our customized form, as you can see by the version 2. Click on that customized form and it will present you initially with these details here. Now really the only thing that you're doing at this point is dictating who can see the form within the organization, and the answer to that is really why you're doing it in the first place. So is this form going to replace the default form for everybody? Is this form only going to be released to a couple of users because their role sort of demands they do something slightly different? So whatever the reason, yeah, this is where you'll enact what you're trying to do. So the first thing I'm going to say is this form is going to be available to my default company, and this form is also going to then become the default form, which means it replaces the original form. If however, like my second example there, you're more leaning towards the user side of things, well then you would say the form is applicable to certain teams, or the form is applicable to certain users. Alright, but for my demonstration purposes I'm just making it the default across the board. I like to save as I go along all the time, so I do that, come back to it. Alright, and then you go into the actual designer itself. So click that button. That brings up my HR employee maintenance form in its default state. You've got a little details box over here that'll change what it displays based upon what parts of the form you're editing or clicking on at the time. So I'm going to go straight to the other tab, and you'll notice that changed, and I'm then going to highlight my after hours phone field, and if you remember, this is the field that we no longer need. And you're not actually deleting anything, but you do have the ability to hide it, and that's all I'm going to do. Click hide. It's smart enough to say, well, you've got a label sitting just here. Do you want to hide that label as well? And I'm going to go absolutely. Alright, and that part's done. The next part is they said they wanted the number of children UDF to be brought across into the other tab. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the UDF. Alright, now you can see here the parent is custom tab. For the purpose of moving it, I'm going to actually say no. The parent is actually the other tab. And that brings that whole UDF box over to the other tab. Now, why I did that is because it allows me to do a drag and drop and bring that field over here. Now, you see that my field is actually outside the sort of like the grouping box. So that's quite a simple thing to rectify. We highlight the grouping box, and you'll see here the positioning and sizing information for that grouping box. So the height is 330. We'll take a stab in the dark and we'll say it's 370. Bam, there you go. So now we can actually see our field. Clicking back on the field, you now, it depends on how how detailed you want to get, but I like to have things aligned. So if you want to just shortcut it, you can sort of click on another field and go, alright, so the left position is 0 or 9 for that matter. I'm actually going to go with 9 simply because I've done this previously, so I know the number I'm looking for. And so, okay, if we make our label position 9 as well, that shifts it across. Okay. Now, because this is a number type field, we don't need our field to be that large, so I'm actually going to make that 20 or even maybe let's go 40. There we go. That's good. Alright. That's it. It's as simple as that. And you would do this to whatever fields you needed to. So you'll also see now we've got a note in the designer that says, well, this particular UDF is now located in the next of kin group box, which is here. Alright. So we're going to highlight that UDF box again. This is just the cleanup stage. We don't want it to be under the other tab anymore. We actually want it to be back under the custom tab. Bam, puts it back there. Okay, just to make sure. Let's go back to other. That's all good. And our field's there, that field's gone, and we're happy. So, I mean, it just doesn't stop there. I could remove tabs if I wanted to. I think there'll be quite a few instances in your organization where even though tabs are here by default, your organization just never touches them, so why even have them there in the first place? So you can literally highlight the tab and do a hide of that as well. Where this really becomes good is if you've got certain, I guess, security reasons that you might want different forms to be available, and a perfect example might be in the HR world, where if you're onboarding an employee and they have their employee contract that's sent to them, they sign it, they send it back, you attach that to the employee record. Now, anyone with access to the HR module and employee maintenance within the HR module will then be able to see that employee contract, and realistically not everyone should have access to those attachments. So what you could potentially do instead is start to do form customization and sort of inhibit access to certain tabs. In this case it would be something like the CV tab. Alright, so yeah, have a good think. It's a very powerful tool, and see where you go from there. Alright, so I've done my changes, but I haven't saved anything. So right now I'm going to click Save. Alright, gives you the option to view your edits, so I'm going to do that as well. Alright, so here's my new form, my customized form. Immediately I'm going to go to the other tab. That's gone. my number of children, integer box is there, that's excellent. Double check, go to custom, cool, that field no longer exists because it's been moved over here, so everything's good. So I can just get rid of that. Alright, and I can close my designer. So because I set it to be company-wide default, in other words replacing the default form that comes with Greentree, if I now go to HR, Human Resource Management, Employee Maintenance, open my form, click on Other, and you can see my edits have taken shape. As opposed to if I had just released this to, I don't know, user Joe Bloggs, then whilst everyone would see the normal form, Joe Bloggs, when he accesses this form, would see something like this. So yeah, it's quite versatile and very, very easy to use. So thanks for watching. Hope this was a benefit to you guys, and take care. Catch you soon.